There are no spoilers in this video at all. I just got done watching Thunderbolts yesterday, and yeah man, it is by no surprise really good. Now, I've been hearing people treat this movie as if it was the best MCU film we've gotten since Endgame, or I'm hearing the term,
the MCU is back.
I can understand why this movie would make people think that anyways, and think that the MCU is back. It's been a drought, but I left the theater really excited regardless. And sure, this movie definitely makes the MCU seem to have a promising future. But yeah, me personally, man, I'ma just wait it out. Okay, recency bias puts people on a chokehold like crazy. But regardless, this movie has a lot of highs, and those highs are really high. But before I get into really appreciating how good this movie is, I want to point out the small things that bothered me. The first issue I have with this movie, which may be more of a personal opinion, is the use of Ghost. When I found out Ghost was gonna be in this movie, I was so excited. Because in Ant-Man and the Wasp, she sucks. She's like a really bad villain. I think by far the worst MCU villain to this day in my opinion. I swear I'm probably gonna have to make a whole nother video on this in the future, because I feel like this is the one issue that holds Ant-Man and the Wasp from being an actual decent movie. And I get it, it sounds unusual to be excited for Ghost out of all people, but I thought this was where she would have her redemption arc from being written so badly, but it doesn't change at all. In this movie, she's just kind of there to help fight, and I really don't like it when superhero movies do that, make a character be there for the sole purpose to just throw punches. I think movie writers just have to come to the conclusion that when you make a superhero movie and have a lot of heroes, you need to realize you got to give them all a reason to be watchable and somewhat rememberable. By the end of this movie, the one character I even forgot was a part of the team was Ghost. Even Mel, the assistant for Valentina, was a more enjoyable character, so it's kind of saying a lot. If you expected Ghost to be any different or cooler, it's probably even worse. I'm not gonna lie, there's just nothing at all for her to offer. Once again, I'm not expecting too much charisma of a movie with anti-heroes and former villains, but still. And another thing that kind of bothered me a little bit was the ending. Now, I can't tell if this ending was intentional, but it was kind of just too intentional. I don't know how to make my way with words with this. Like, it was very brief and left without closure. I don't think the majority of the people that watched the movie could expect the ending to kind of end off that abruptly, especially for a movie that was filled with so much to take in. They do their thing in the end. Obviously, I can't get into detail, trying to minimize the spoilers here. And as soon as they're done, it's over. The movie is like immediately over, maybe a minute or two after the final act, which makes me think like this was obviously done on purpose, but I don't know if I can agree with the choice to end the movie off like that. But oh boy, man, look, those flaws, they don't hold up, guys. They don't hold up to the greatness of this movie overall, because there is so much good about this movie. I can easily look past the flaws. First quick thing I want to point out is the humor. Oh my days, bro, when is the last time, if ever, the humor in Marvel movies were not greatly forced?
What are those?
Brother, this guy stinks!
It's one thing to be comedic in an attitude where you have the sole purpose and goal to make someone laugh, but it's another for it to be humor that is natural and not even meant to be intentionally funny from the character's perspective. I genuinely never found myself laughing at an MCU movie as much as I did. Maybe since the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, but the thing about the humor in this movie is that it clearly isn't forced. It flows natural with the state of the movie. There's like maybe one or two times where a joke is made and it obviously doesn't need to be there, but even then it's not even noticeably bad, because like I said, everything flows naturally. So when it did happen, it just fit with the character's dialogue. Man, another amazing thing to mention about this movie, man, Florence Pugh is amazing in this movie. Her performance and character is probably the best thing about this movie. I don't know what happened, but Florence Pugh was clearly giving it all in her portrayal of this character. I know some people were wanting Bucky to kind of be like the main lead in this movie, but after seeing how Yelena had so much more depth to her character along with this performance, I wouldn't want there to be any other main character for this movie. In Black Widow, she was just a mediocre classic hero working with Natasha, who obviously had more spotlight, but in this movie, in every aspect, she's amped up to 11. If you enjoyed her in Black Widow, I don't even think it matters if you enjoyed her in Black Widow, because regardless, she's awesome in this movie, man. Alright, need I say more? This movie does a really good job at knowing when to place things, okay? This movie gets funny, it gets emotional, it gets intense, and it even gets dark and gritty. And to fit a multitude of emotions in this movie and still get it down without making things seem crowded, yeah, big applause to that, man. Alright, this movie gave us very impactful and memorable scenes, and I'm so happy about that because it feels like it's been forever since having that feeling. I am so tired of the MCU acting like the only way to make impactful rewatchable scenes is through big events. Movies don't have to be like Infinity War, Endgame, or No Way Home in order to give us moments where I can say, hey, that was a really cool scene. You know what? I want to maybe look up that specific scene on YouTube. Like I said, no spoilers, but there's a really cool scene with a very fitting soundtrack composition in Sentry's introduction of his powers, and it is by far one of the coolest MCU scenes, in my personal opinion. If you watch the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But speaking of Sentry, yeah guys, he's really cool. He's really cool in this movie. I don't know if I have much to say. I just really like him, and I just think he's really awesome, and he's just good beyond measures I can describe. And his evil twin form, guys, it's even cooler and very awesome. Every time there was a scene with Sentry, I just wanted to see more. I was fiending. Alright, I was like, let me see this brother Sentry again. Whether I saw the Sentry on screen, the Void on screen, it was all very cool. And I think that's just what I miss. I just miss seeing characters and being like, that's cool. Alright, just being impressed to say that is cool. Yeah, this movie gave him some of the coolest shots I have ever seen for an antagonist. You would think he's Superman the way they're giving him such great cinematography, such great shots. It's like, this is Sentry. They're doing all this for Sentry. And hey man, I love it. The execution of his character really surpassed what I expected. I think the whole movie just surpassed what I expected pretty much. He was very enjoyable to watch. The movie has a clear theme, a clear point it's trying to get across, and it couldn't have been any more clear. And I'm so happy to see a different take on the casual Marvel formula for films. So this definitely shifts in a different direction from the mediocre Marvel story, and I really appreciate the fact that it works because it clearly isn't for everyone. But yeah, this movie is awesome. It's maybe a solid 9, 8, 9. I feel like giving it an 8 would be kind of even disrespectful. I feel like if I watch this movie more and more, 100% it's gonna keep on growing on me. I kind of already want to even watch it again. So there's that. If you're thinking of watching it, if you've been, yeah, just watch it. It's really good.